Hello, this is Andrew Baker of AJB Holsters, and I'm going to do something I don't typically do on this channel. I try to script everything as best I can. I'm going to do a completely off-the-cuff unboxing of some stuff that I actually ordered from overseas. Now, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of compound archery accessories made outside of the United States, or rather, things that are of original design, as opposed to some stuff that may have been... Now, this may just be my ethnocentrism talking, but there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of stuff coming out from other places, with the exception of like some brands like OK Archery, who makes bows. That's a German company, and a few others. There's another one called Merlin Archery that had a release that looked very similar to a Carter just because, or just cuz actually, or more like a Fits Me Too. So it just looked like a dressed up version of one of those. So there isn't a whole lot of stuff coming. I mean, it seems that the rest of the world kind of embraced like Olympic type archery as well as traditional, whereas the United States is mostly they mostly have the handle or have the market in terms of making things for compound, especially accessories. So when I found out about this company, we're going to be looking at. I saw them on. I was looking for something on a website called Alternative Services, which is based in the UK, and I found that there is actually a company in France, and somebody please correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but it's called Systeme or Arc System, and they make releases as well. And what inspired me to place an order for these is one of them came up, one of the older versions of them came up on Archery Talk. This is called the Arc Systeme La Tendu, and has an interesting resemblance to a Trueball HBC, but kind of different enough. I mean, the adjustments are a little different. It doesn't have the micro adjust right under the chin there. So I don't think that these are... They don't have any kind of like intellectual property issues, though they aren't sold in the United States. I just think maybe either there's enough stuff here in order for them not to get a foothold, or they would rather, maybe it's an issue with importing things. I haven't really looked into it, but regardless, I placed an order for the newer versions of these, and I'm gonna unbox it. They have a hinge and they have a thumb release. They also have a strap mounted like middle finger release called the 300M. I'm not gonna buy that because it's, you know, made to be used on a wrist strap, and I'm not going to be making any holsters for that. So in here there are two releases, and I'm going to open them up and do this cold, and I'm going to give you my impressions of them as I open them up and look at them for the first time. Okay, I didn't realize my home address was going to be on the box on the inside too, so didn't exactly, even though you know my name and general area, I don't think anybody really needs to know exactly where I live. But anyway, so it was still haven't opened this up yet. It's a box within a bag. This was sent through UPS, and actually only took about 3 days to get from the UK to here. So kudos to UPS. I'm kind of glad I spent a little bit of extra money for that, because yeah, I was actually expecting it to take a few weeks to get here, but it didn't. So that was kind of nice, and I can start taking a look. I am going to be offering holsters for these as soon as I get a chance to do my molds and make my props and all that good stuff. So that's all cut, so let's open her up. More packaging. And, not again. So Alternative Services did a good job. Okay, there's the thumb release. And here's the hinge. Let's do the hinge first. So this is I don't know what what that's supposed to, I don't know what the sizing means. It comes in a, not a blister pack, but just like a plastic packaging. It comes in 3 different sizes. This is the Arc Systema La Tendue, or La Tendux for us Americans. So from the looks of this, it says small, comes in small, medium, and large. This one's a medium. I don't know what the numbers here signify. I don't know if that's, I would think that would be poundage, but I don't think that's what it is. That's got to be the measurement of the finger beds. So let's open her up. It's got a security seal. I don't know if anybody's actually going to find this interesting, like I say, considering these aren't made in the US, but I have most of the releases. I'm going to start working my way through doing reviews on older releases. But in the meantime, I just had an itch to try something different, and I pretty much have just about every release made in the United States at this point, except for like older stuff, like different true variants of true balls and things. So it comes in a nice little drawstring pouch. Has some tools. That's good because I don't have a metric folding set. There's an additional sear that I think is for a click. I don't know if it starts off with a click or has a smooth. It comes with a smooth and a click sear. So those swap in and out. And here's the release. That's kind of a beauty. A couple nice things that I'm seeing already. It's got a nice defined deep finger bed here, so the feel is it's gonna feel really fitted. Now this is supposed to be a medium, but my hands, I wear size small gloves, and from the looks of this, it is gonna run on the smaller side. So you're looking at like Stanislavski style sizing. Like here's a medium onyx, and the finger beds are pretty close in size. So you're looking at sizing on the smaller side, so think like Stanislavski. I'm also going to scan these and put them on my sizing guide. There's a lot of facets to this release, so everything is a lot of, I don't know if it's machining, so it's a lot of straight lines and kind of faceted angles. So, and one thing I'm noticing, it's got the M for medium. One thing I'm noticing, there's no clanking or jiggling going on, so there's some hook retention. And that's a magnet. So there's a magnet in there that holds the hook in place. I believe these started to be manufactured in 2018, or they were redesigned in 2018. Here's the older version. So the older version has a lot more curved machining as opposed to straight lines and faceting. The newer version doesn't look to be tapered, and this one does. So the older version of these is tapered, and this looks to be more of a straight handle. The finger beds also have some traction to them, so they've got some machining in there. So it's kind of true ball-esque, where they add a little bit of traction for grip. With regards to the hook retention and putting a magnet in there, that's always a very good idea. I'm a big proponent of that as opposed to just letting it flop. Like this is a true ball executive, and I think it was a major misstep to just let this flop around. Like there should be something keeping this hook in place, and I'm going to continue to rag on that in perpetuity. So anyway, it's got it's a stainless steel head, stainless steel hook, and then sear there. The body of the release is all brass. Like I said, there's some machining in there. There's also just a little bit, but it's less pronounced in the index finger bed. The thumb barrel has an offset hole, so you can rotate it around, and it's also riding in a slotted area of the handle, so you can move this in and out as well as turning it around. So it should be pretty easy to get something, to get a position that you'll like, from being real close in, very close in to out a little bit more. It's going to be metric, so that's going to complicate things if you decide to get a different thumb barrel for it, which you may or may not. I'm probably not going to, because this should be fine for me. I'll have to try it with the click sear. Let's see what it has on it now. There's a click. Okay, it's not a very pronounced click. Yeah, that's a... Alright, so that's the click sear, and it has a very... It's very dull. I don't even know if I'm going to feel that one. Yeah, it's on there. You can even let down on it with that. It doesn't even seem like it would get stuck. Like with an HBC, you can get to the click, but then if you need to let down with after you've clicked it, the sear will actually push it. So it will actually ride with it. If you see the little dial in there, it'll actually move with it. So that's the... I'm going to play with that. It should be micro adjustable. There's a locking screw there. And there should be an adjustment screw somewhere for that sear. Oh, it's through the handle. So you have to go through the handle. That's either the locking, that's either the lock or the adjustment. So I'll have to read the instructions for it. So you either move the sear via moving that screw there, or you run a Allen key through this hole in the bottom. All right, so that's that one. And there's the tools that go with it. And then the one I was really interested in, this is the... I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Decocher, the thumb release. It's actually referred to as the 304P on the website. So, like I said, these are made in France. And so far, they don't seem to be... There doesn't seem to be any overt issues with intellectual property. A lot of the stuff that's made in Asia seems to be an amalgamation of different designs that came from the United States. And I'm gonna vow now that I will never be catering to those things, because that represents the theft of intellectual property. I'm kind of hoping 304 stands for a stainless element to it. So this does not come in a drawstring pouch. It comes in another sealed bag. So there's more adjustment Allen wrenches. Like I said, they're probably metric. So I'm happy to say that the one side of this release appears to be stainless steel. Or is it? No, that's hard to tell. I can't tell from this light if that's... I think this feels like aluminum. The fourth finger adjustment is kind of similar to a Carter Whisper, though. It goes on the back spine of the handle, and then you can actually... It looks like there's some adjustment there. Feels pretty natural. It's still on the smaller side. My hands, I wear a size small glove. This is a medium, and that fits very, very well for me. So from the looks, so this is... It also comes in... there's a version of this, I don't know if you can buy it separately, but this plate, you can buy a version of this release where the plate is brass, and then you would also, it would give you a little bit of extra thickness for comfort and a little bit of extra weight. And that's unfortunate for me, because if I'm going to make a holster for it, then I got to get them both. The thumb barrel construction, the adjustment on it, it looks like you can move it in and out from here. So you can move it up and out, and you can move this in and out here, and then that's an offset hole, so you can turn that. It looks like it's pretty far forward. It looks like I'd have to flip that over to get it. I usually have it like that, so I'm probably going to end up having to flip this over. But most importantly, let's see what the trigger feels like. So the hook is loose. Cocking button. Let's see. Cocking button. So that cocks that. Do you need to close the hook? Alright, so the hook doesn't close itself, so it's a single action type release. You're going to have to... It opens towards your face, so you're going to have to press it in with your index finger. Just kind of cock it and then bring it around here once you get it into the D-loop. And then the trigger... Let's see what the trigger feels like. Creep. So it's a little gritty. I'll probably have to put tension on the hook. It's a little gritty, but relatively smooth. Starts off pretty light, so there's an adjustment. The adjustment screw for tension and travel should be here, or there's nothing in there, so I don't know. There's just an empty hole right there. Ooh, there is a sharp edge right here, a very sharp edge that's catching my finger skin, so I don't like that. That's okay there. The edges of both pieces there, this is definitely aluminum. It's just bright unfinished aluminum. It's got a couple of nicks on it already, along with some polishing marks there too. So pricing on these, I believe I paid $200 for this one and $220 for this the hinge here. But fit and finish is a little suspect. Like, it's got some chatoyance to it. Like, I can see this was kind of machined a little differently than this, and you can see it in the, yeah, just like that. You see that? And this piece is is it stainless? The shade is slightly off, and I spent a lot of time doing chainmail in my younger years when I had way more time on my hands, so I think this piece is stainless steel. You can also take it off if you wanted to, but as a three finger, I think you could get away without. But so it's a 304 PM. Overall, it's got a little bit of travel. I don't know if I'll be able to tune that out. I do like a trigger that doesn't have a lot, or actually that has a lot of travel. This one out of the box is not very crisp. Let me see if I can adjust that. So these are for adjusting the thumb barrel. So if I loosen that up, that's going to move. Let's do it this way. That's going to move that in and out there. And then if I loosen that, that's going to, does it do anything? Oh, I see. So in order to make any adjustments to that, you have to take this out completely, move it to there, and then what does that do? No idea. I think you can flip this. It looks like you can flip that over, though. So let's see. So that comes off. The little trigger stem is right there. Can you flip this thing over and use it so it goes like that? Or I'm confused. I'm looking to see what kind of adjustment you should be able to move this or adjust it out, unless you turn it to the, no, because that would look stupid. So that's what I get for things being cold. I don't know why. I think that's the only adjustment you get with this, is just to move the thumb barrel around. You can move it, this way or a little bit, or to where it is now. And then this one, I don't know if that hole's even threaded. So anyway, this is what France has to offer in terms of compound release aids. Like I said, there is another one that's got that sharp edge right there. And that's, well, it's smooth on one side, but that's really sharp on the other. It's like somebody dropped it. But yeah, can't really feel it when you're holding it, but yeah, that edge right there is that's a bit disappointing. I'd have to stone that or do something with it. Yeah, looks like somebody dropped it. All right, so that's great. Yeah, and it's also a little bit ground down right there. So anyway, I will eventually do like a more deep dive review on these things, just to get an idea. This one is decent. I don't know if it's yeah, there's some tooling right there too that's kind of bugging me. So fit and finish, the edges do meet up. Like, there aren't any raised edges like a certain other company that I did a review on recently. where the pieces were made on two different, oh, that's Buddy and Spot upstairs saying hi. So the pieces of this release do match up. There's no, aside from that sharp edge right there, like there's no raised edges where you can feel the seam, and they were obviously made on two different machines. Fit and finish is okay. Like I said, you can see tooling marks and stuff where it was cut or sanded at different angles. The trigger, like I said, there's some travel there, but I don't know if I play with the adjustments, I might be able to tune that out. And then there's the little bit of variable sweep on the finger extension for the fourth finger. So this piece, okay, so you can't rotate it this way, but you can move it in and out like that along here. So if you went all the way back, it actually feels okay. It feels okay. So you can kind of conform this to the shape of your fingers, and if you have short pinkies or short fingers, then you got a little bit of customization there. Like I said, the hook moves in, goes into your face, so you'll be cocking it with your index finger after you press the cocking button. It is a single action release. I'll be interested to see if I can tune that out, and I know I'm repeating myself now. I'll be most interested to see how this one performs, because like I said, it does bear an interesting resemblance to an HBC in terms of, like, this is a small, and sizing wise they're pretty close together, so that's interesting. So apparently the French have smaller hands, just like me. On this one, fit and finish, there's this little bit of a sharp edge. It's got like a Carter-esque sharp edge on the finger bed here, which you're not going to feel when you're holding it. It's a little sharp up here, up that way. So a couple of hot spots that would be a bit concerning, but you really can't feel them when you're actually holding it. So I think that about covers it. Like I said, if you wanted to try something different, I already talked about the adjustment there. So if you wanted to try something different from Europe instead of something from the United States, and you wanted, like I said, I don't recommend going with any of the items like on Amazon or eBay that look conspicuously like a true ball blade. You know, the mechanism and the head look very similar, but they're just made of significantly lower quality materials. So if you wanted to try something different, check out Alternative Services. They ship really fast. They are located in the UK, and they do UPS International Saver, which is what I use to get them. And they only cost, it was like $19 to ship them, and it only took 3 days to get from the UK to here. So anyway, if anybody has any comments or likes what I'm doing, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section, and I hope this was somewhat useful. And anyway, take care, stay safe, and happy hunting.